Oh, look at that. Run over that log. I don't care. I don't care. Howdy ho there, neighbors. It's your buddy Nick McFly. I'll go ahead and start off and apologize if I sound a little muffled today. That's because I'm currently wearing a face mask, because it's a nice brisk 50 degrees right now, if I'm lucky. It was 40s when I left the house. Today is going to be the review of my new bike. I got me a Honda CRF 300L. Do a little walk around here for you guys. So as I mentioned in my last video, I was going to be looking at another option in terms of my motor vehicle. And this is what I ended up with. So, first things first, why 300L? Well, when I was debating on options, I really got it down to originally a DRZ 450. Then actually, talking to some other folks and, reading stuff online, all that good fun stuff. This also popped up as an option. So they were about neck and neck for a while there. But I ended up going this route for one key reason, or two key reasons, I should say. It's lighter than the 450, not by much. They weren't too big of a difference, but the other huge difference for me was the seat height. This is a couple inches shorter than the DRZ, which is very important, at least for someone with my multiple issues, as I went through in my very first video with the ankle problems and so forth. But yeah, that seat height makes all the difference. So I can almost stand completely flat-footed when I'm, just at a stoplight or standing still, not 100%. But I can very easily have one foot down all the way with the other sitting on the peg. But there you have it. So the Honda CRF 300L. I will state, these things are incredibly difficult to find right now. I actually lucked out and found a used one, ironically from another YouTuber, which I will link his channel down below. But he's out of Kentucky, and me being in Tennessee, wasn't too rough of a drive to go pick up this bad boy. Just picked a day, got a trailer, and drove about 4.5 hours one way, all run trip in one day to pick it up. But so he already had a couple of upgrades on here, like the Yoshimura exhaust, the hand guards, new levers, all that kind of good fun stuff. I have since added some stuff to it obviously as well. I got my little seat cover on here. I got the luggage rack on here, so I could put my my little trunk bag on for now. Could not use my tank bag that I used to have on the Triumph because this is plastic. Tank bag I had before was a magnet system, so obviously not going to work on this. I do have another one coming. I've actually invested in some giant loop gear, so I'll be doing a little review and walkthrough on that once I have all that. But it's still a few days out in shipping, so I won't even worry about that. But yeah, so luggage rack, seat cover, and my nifty little USB port that I always hook up. So I got that running down to the battery so I can plug in the phone, or if I want to run my Garmin, all that good fun stuff. Since I got this after I started the channel, every one of these things that I've added to the bike and everything I will add moving forward, I will do little install videos, so keep an eye out for those. I've already done one on how to get the seat cover on. You'd think it'd be simple, but where to run these lines was a little bit of a challenge, but I found some good spots for it. And same thing with my little USB port that I have plugged in right there. So those will be coming out shortly. Just little quick videos on how I did it, where I did it. But yeah, there you have it. So I'm actually going to be joined by the old road rash today. I'm just waiting for him to show up. Nope, still not here. And yeah, should be good riding. Cold riding. You can't win in the spring. You take what you can get. Sun's out though. So I figured, let's do this. Let's take this. This is the maiden voyage for this thing. I've literally only driven, prior to today, the 10 miles to test ride it when I was purchasing it. And then the ride out here today, which was, I think it's about 30 miles or so from my house, and of course that was all road. As I mentioned, this is lighter, actually about 200 pounds lighter than the Triumph, so that's a huge bonus for me. Someone in my position who's just now getting into off-road riding, no dirt bike experience, nothing like that. That weight made all the difference. This will be much better. This clocked in at about, I think, 330 is stock. And then of course gear and this and that, maybe a couple extra pounds there, but the Triumph was over 550, so quite a big jump there. The number one thing that I want to get sooner rather than later, but I gotta start putting money aside for that, is some crash bars to put down here. Kind of a given when if you're going to be doing any off-road, that's a good idea. But other than that, I mean, you know, maybe a seat we'll try. Today so far, an hour and a half about to get here. No complaints. You know, it is what it is. But this little tiny seat protector slash pad surprisingly makes all the difference. And I think it was 18, 20 bucks. Complaints. First complaints, and number one complaint, and like this is all personal preference, I cannot stand the colors. That's just me. I don't like red, but they do not come in any color other than red. So not like I had a lot of options there. And I'm curious to see if I could find some, like, I mean, this is all just plastic, so you would think somewhere out there would have some type of aftermarket shop to replace all those with different colors. So if I can, that would be awesome. So that's the big reveal. Like I said, we'll do riding footage and review as we're going along, and see how this goes. Hey guys, so I have a little disclaimer for you before we go into the next part of this review. I actually ended up having some major technical difficulties on this ride. For whatever reason, about 3/4 into the day, I turned off my GoPro, and then when I tried to turn it back on, I got this weird SD error code. I've never gotten it before. I've never seen it before. So I wasn't able to record anymore after that point. And when I got back home and plugged the SD card in the computer to take a look, the whole thing was corrupt. So luckily, I do have a program that I use at home often for recovery, file recovery. And it did a pretty good job. I got about 50% of the footage back. So unfortunately, I was planning on making a whole ride video for not just the review, but just of the day. That's kind of out the window. I did get the last chunk of the review while I was riding. So that's what I'm going to play for you next. Just a fair warning, it is a little, not horribly, but there's a little weird visual glitches here and there, little audio glitches here and there. But overall, the footage, it works. So I wanted to make sure to still include this, even though it's not perfect, because that's what you're here for, to see the live review of the bike in action. So without further ado, here's that footage. I'll tell you a couple of things I do like right off the bat about this bike compared to the Triumph. First and foremost, having a fuel gauge again is a blessing. And even having a gear reminder, or whatever you want to call it, gear gauge, let you know what gear you're in, although it's kind of hard to forget on these types of bikes. Oh, there's some bumps. Oh, road rash already down through the turn. Definitely felt smoother than the last time I was on there. This bike's also got a light at the top right next to the check engine light you see on right now, but that's because of the O2 sensor. But light will start flashing when it's time to shift, which for a newer rider, just in motorcycles in general, I can see how that would be absolutely amazing. I've definitely ridden enough motorcycles that start to tell when, you can hear when you need to shift, or if I'm half paying attention, it's nice to see the light flashing at me going, hey dumbass, it's time to shift. Anyway, one of the biggest complaints I saw was the shocks on this. But I really think that just depends on how you're riding it. Because right now, it's fine to me. But again, everybody's ride's different. Everyone's built differently. And what you're doing with the bike obviously is going to determine that as well. If you're hitting more single track or freaking popping wheelies and jumps and stuff, yeah, I can see how that would come into play a lot more. But yeah, from a review standpoint for this bike, I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm having fun. I'm doing more challenging roads. I'm not as scared. I'm definitely more confident. And so right now, I mean, almost everything with the exception of the exhaust and added on accessories, it's all pretty stock. Stock suspension, stock tires, stock seat. And I'm all right. Now, if you're doing stuff super challenging, that's a whole other ball game. But for doing what I'm doing and the level that I'm at, this is more than enough. Old Road Rash there said he's enjoying the ride, so definitely means we're getting into more challenging stuff. But oh, look, yeah, this is way unkempt. So now we're getting more into mental states, because now it's a given this bike is going to do what I want it to do. It's going to handle it. It's going to make it easier for me. So I just got to get out of the mindset that I'm always in that's, you know, scares the crap out of me. But holy shit, this bike's awesome. I'm very happy I pulled the trigger. Oh, look at that. Run over that log. I don't care. I don't care. But it's shifting smooth, starting smooth. I mean, damn, dude, everything's smooth. So if you're like me and you're just starting to get into off-roading and you're trying to consider bikes, you know, this is a contender if you can find one. That's if there's one complaint, it's how hard it is to find these damn things right now. But ooh, see, I'm gonna put myself into first gear here, and I'm just gonna let the bike do the work to guide me down. But if you're looking for something to get into off-roading but still have enough punch to take out on the highway and whatnot, this is the route to go, man. I believe the top speed somewhere over 70. I can't remember the exact number offhand, but I wouldn't want to do more than 65, 70 anyway on this bike, because there's no fairing, no windshield. Holy shit. Of course I'm doing the review part when it gets to the absolute most challenging part of the ride. Yeah, even Road Rash up there is taking it easy. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. But, I mean, the bike's up, dude. Having that extra 200 pounds off this bike compared to the Triumph is just fantastic. Even if I was to go down right now, it's full confidence that, well, I could lift it back up. It's only 330. I lifted the 500 and it wasn't fun, but I did it. So if I could do that, this should be no problem. So yeah, am I the most experienced telling you what to buy? Absolutely not. Are you a brand new rider considering looking at this bike and wanting the opinion of someone that's in the exact same shoes as you? Well, then you're in the right spot. Yeah, this is easily the most technical stuff I've done thus far off-roading, period. And the irony, like I said, that this is when I decided to start doing the voiceover for the review is not lost on me. Kind of works out that way, though. You're getting to see what this thing could do in the hands of someone who has no idea what they're doing. Ugh. Again, even now, the back tire's sliding a little tiny bit, but it's not in a way that's throwing me off my game. I just know, hey, all right, give it a little bit more gas. The bike's going to want to push through it. It's a beast. I'm going to put it in lower gear. Not only is this a steep downhill, but it's one thing about the GoPros, you can't really tell how steep something is. But I have been in second, third gear the majority of this day, easily pushing 20 miles an hour and higher. I mean, like I said, at one point I hit 47. So compared to 3 weeks ago, this same exact place on the easier stuff than what I'm on at this
particular moment, I was scared to go above 15. And at 15, I was sliding around like crazy. So I'm excited. Now I want to get out more. Now I'm going to have to look at the, there's a place nearby. Oh. All right, pause to talk to Road Rash.
So yeah, right there is where I turned the camera off to talk to Road Rash, as you saw, and when I tried to turn it back on, I got that weird SD error. So that's all I got of that ride. I got a couple of clips here and there throughout the day, but it wouldn't make any sense, and I wasn't doing the review portion of it. Yeah, overall, again, just to recap, as you saw a second ago in the whole video, this bike is fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. I've never had a more enjoyable time out off-roading than I did taking this bike out. Not to say that I didn't enjoy other rides that I've been on, but nothing compares to this. I mean, it was the first time I can say with a clear conscience that when we got to the end, I was actually disappointed that the ride was stopping. I wanted to keep going. So I'm excited to get back out there again. I can't wait to get back out there again. I'm already looking at my options for places to go closer to home so I could go out more often than I have been. But so if that doesn't speak volumes to the bike, I don't know what else will. So again, from a guy who has no off-road experience really, coming into this fresh, if you're in the same position that I was in, I can't speak highly enough of this bike. Sure, there are steps you could take below that, the Honda 250 and things like that, or similar vehicles. But again, if you're in the situation I am, where you still want something that can go out and about, on the road, on the highway, to get to wherever you're going to go off-roading, this thing's perfect. The shocks, that was the only complaint I've read online. That wasn't 100%, oh, it was the greatest thing ever. I had no complaints with it. I can see how it is softer than what probably some people are, more experienced people are used to. When I sit down in it, I can feel the shocks compress. I actually like that. It makes touching the ground that much easier. As I get into more technical stuff, will I change it? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The road from here is only going up. I mean, again, from a almost completely stock bike, it's fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. So if you get a chance, if you can find one of these bad boys, I mean, by all means, go grab one. If you could test drive one, by all means. Although I don't know many dealerships that'll let you test drive a bike off road, but you saw the footage. And of course, in the footage, the way GoPro films, it makes everything look a lot flatter than it was. But it was steep inclines, it was steep declines. There was a lot of ruts in there. I was going over rocks, I was going through bumps. And again, as I said in the video, it was the most technical stuff I've ever done. Is it the most technical stuff ever? No, of course not. But I'm not ready for that yet. So, and that's the goal for this video, is to show people that aren't also ready for that and still give you that confidence. If there's no more important thing that I can, part with you guys, is that confidence is key with this stuff. When I was on the Scrambler, I wasn't confident, so it made me more hesitant. It made me not, as ready or as willing to do the things that I was doing on this bike, on this ride. So it gave me the confidence. I had a blast riding it, and I can't wait to go out to do it again. So there you go. There is my review. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As usual, if you liked it, feel free to like and subscribe. For more, I got another review coming out for another bike. This is going to be another on-road bike, and then of course all my future videos on anything I'm going to tweak on this bike. So thanks again. See you next time.